Give you 1 second before I talk to you. This is George Orwell Show. My name is Christian Morgan. I am your host. And welcome to my walk back home. It's about 27, 28 degree weather. Let me tell you right now, I haven't seen no drones locally in my area of operation. I literally had to go get a bite to eat and all that junk. And I'll tell you, at the moment, there is nothing going on in Iowa that I can tell when it comes to these quote-unquote drones that are coming out of New Jersey. But let me tell you on a separate note that things are going to start looking up for me on this channel with George Orwell Show, because I'm going to take the George Orwell Show in a different direction, because the babbling about my life, etc., I'm going to do some geopolitics, and I'm going to do some stuff that has to intersect with local demographics in the United States when it comes to USMCA or Nasara or Kisara or something like that. Because what I'm doing on this channel is not working. And most people will say, does it work? Does it not work? And how can we fix it so that it doesn't continually cause an issue with the show? Because what I know is everything has a price and everything has its place. Most people will look at me and say, why are you walking in 28 and 27 degree weather? Well, let me tell you something. When you're hungry and don't get out and you ain't got hardly anything at home, you're going to do whatever it takes to actually get it. Trust me, I know. Because when I was doing my drugs, I was getting my alcohol, I would be of that mindset. I would do anything and everything I had to do in order to get my drugs and get my alcohol, so that way I could feel better about myself. And let me tell you something else, and I am going to do a bit of advice for alcoholics and drug addicts. I would say, look, that's also going to be blended into the show, to the George Orwell Show, because drugs and alcohol can be a real, how shall I say, bummer. It can hurt families like my own. It hurt my family quite a bit, how my family is being there gone. And no matter what happens in my life, it seems like it all comes back to when I was younger. They always say when alcohol and drugs start, that's when all the fussing and the fighting starts. Because when I was a kid growing up from 0 to 7, I was in shelters, not really at home, not having a stable home life, etc. It just was one crap show after another. But most people were kind-hearted people, so they thought, oh, if they took me in, things would get better. That didn't happen. I remember a lot of nice foster families, but when you get to a certain age, they know they see damaged goods when they see it. And they thought I was damaged goods. They thought that everything that I ever did in my life was not worth the work that I'm doing now, my dad included. He thought that everything that I've ever done would be a failure and a waste, because he thinks that he's a baby boomer. He thinks that his crap don't stink, and his kids are a couple of failures. Yeah, my brother's in prison, and I'm a former inmate of said prison here in Iowa. But let me guarantee you one thing: no matter what, I'll do what I can for my brother. He's been hurt enough by my father. He has been hurt enough. He may think that his life is over because of what my father has done to him, but let's just say, in not so many words, that he's got a little surprise when he gets out, and it ain't a bad one for my brother anyway, and maybe not my dad, but that's a whole nother rant for another day. Because I will tell you right now, I wish no harm on nobody whatsoever. But when I rant and rave on these videos, one thing is for sure: I don't wish harm on nobody. Because number one, that's bad juju. You wish harm only on certain ones and then say something different, you are a liar and a thief of sorts. And I don't believe in that whatsoever. Because no matter what you do in life, you have an opportunity to fix your life. You have an opportunity to make something better of yourself than what it was. Yeah, I'm 42 years old this year, and I felt finally, after losing a ton of weight, that I started to feel better. Believe it or not, I was close to 400 pounds, and I had to have a gastric bypass just so I could eat normal again and not carry the weight. But there was something wrong with me where I was a candidate for a gastric bypass. And that gastric bypass helped me live my life again, but it took a year of basically retraining my stomach to accept solid food. I mean, literally, I had to start when I was a little baby and backtrack it all the way up to adulthood. It took a year. It was the worst year of hell in my entire life. But a year later, and in all this process, I was losing my mother. I get the call and the knock from local PD in my hometown. They said, "What do you want done with your mother's remains?" And I told the cops, send me the bait. And then they went on from there. That cop, I had to give him kudos for, because he dropped his, how shall we say, law enforcement hat, because cops get a bad rap. They literally get a bad rap in the law enforcement biz, because they wear many hats. And one of them is a psychiatrist hat, one of them is psychologist, grief counselor, take your pick. Anywho, these people put on that uniform and wear that badge to not only protect their families, but to protect their communities. I do back the blue. And yes, I am a Republican, believe it or not. I used to be a Kennedy Democrat, but from what I was seeing of the Democrat Party today, in today's day and age, and at the rate that it was going, and let me tell you, it was, gosh, at the rate that it was going, it was not going good. Because sorry about this, guys, but I am literally trying to readjust and do this video with my backpack so I can not go at an angle. Anyway, I was a Kennedy Democrat. I believe, ask not what your country can do for you, ask what you can do for your country. That was the type of Democrat that I was. It wasn't until 2020 and 2019 when I left the Democrat Party. The Democrat Party literally has no freedom of thought, no freedom of expression, no freedom of anything except for what they want, the narrative that they want you to have. Well, I'm sorry, I reject that notion of having, how shall I say, freedom of thought. I want to be able to think on my own, have my own wisdom, have my own everything. Because, let me tell you, the Democrat Party has literally went by the way of the dodo. There is no Republican versus Democrat right now. It is literally, in my humble opinion, evil versus good. And this is no longer about Democrats and Republicans. Because what I've seen overseas, etc., has really made me feel like we had no hope. Or is this truly the end times that we are living in? Do I believe Donald Trump is the guy that is supposed to replace Christ? No. He has an age issue. that I don't get. Maybe it's the person standing behind him. I won't go into names, but you can kind of fill in the blank. Number two, or it could be Mr. Macron. It could be a lot of people. We won't know until at least 2025 or 2026. But they have until 2030 to get their agenda done before Christ comes back in 2028, I believe. Because there's too many coincidences to be a coincidence anymore. So I'm going to be experimenting in what I call wordsmithing on this channel, because I'll tell you right now, everything I've seen, at least locally from my point of view, is looking like we're heading into a one-world government. But it looks like Donald Trump is trying to get us out from under the thumb of the UN, the WEF, and all these other globalist organizations. Because I reject globalism, and I want America first, because no more of this globalistic crap that this country has gone through, and basically we're the piggy bank that the world steals from. Well, you know what? I think it's time that some of these countries that we've helped build since World War I and World War II, I think it's high time that they start paying tariffs and everything else, or unless they start handling us in this country. Period. Now, I would like to be friends with Russia, because trust me, Russia is not one to be messed with. Literally. It's not one to be messed with, because I don't want to see, if you look, big firecrackers coming overhead. And I'm telling you this because it's a rough translation for hazelnut. Ostrich. It's a rough translation for hazelnut. So they use that damn sucker in Ukraine and in Dnipro City. It was an intermediate range missile. And if they somehow did that on an ICBM, we are all gone. All effing gone. But I realize it is like a cosmic play right now. We're at the beginning stages of this cosmic play, and we have a front row seat to this cosmic play of sorts, because nobody knows the end of it. And yes, the United States will play either a diminished role in the world, or will be a smoking hole in the earth. Nothing more. I can't tell you for certain. What I can tell you is things will be very, very different around 2025, 2026, etc. It may be good, it may be bad. I really don't know. But judging from what I've seen, Christ is on his way back. And all these freaking drones that we see going around, let me tell you something. Those drones are nothing nice. They're looking for something in particular that happened in New Jersey and all over the country that I have people a little bit on edge. Some radiological material that has somehow conveniently come missing underneath the Biden administration. You do not tell me that they had no idea what is going on. I'll tell you as much as I tell anyone else on this channel. There's something going on that we had no idea about, and people had no clue. From what I heard from a neighbor of mine, elderly gentleman, that there was drones flying over Oskaloosa, looking one or two. But I haven't been able to spot one. Doesn't mean that they're not there. So keep your fingers crossed that nothing bad happens. And I'll tell you right at the moment, I'm just fixing to come home. I had to take a bit of a walk because I was going stir crazy in that dang apartment of mine. And I happened to be able to get some food, get my stomach settled, and we should be good to go. But that's a whole other anywho, I'm pretty much at home and I'm waiting for these cars to pass. Okay, with this one, these cars pass because I need to trust. Yeah. All I know is there's something big happening, and most people don't see it till it's too damn late. And all I'm asking of my subscribers, and if you like this, like, share, subscribe. And I'll try to keep bringing you some more engaging content, but I will tell you this, that what I'm seeing doesn't make sense. Not a damn bit of it. Okay? Not a damn bit of it makes sense. Because these people who are overstimulus, and they do not care as long as they have rules for thee and not for me type situation. I don't play those games, if you know what I mean, because these people don't have the interests of the American people at heart. They're international bureaucrats who do not care about the human species as long as they get what they want. And I'm telling you this as someone who's personally seen some of this when I've been under, I guess you would call them near death, experienced some of these beings see us as food, our negative energy, our negativity towards people, etc. And I've seen this firsthand. It's nothing nice. It tells me that no matter what we do, we physically do, these things feed off of us and our life force. What do you think the 5G network is? What do you think it is trying to connect all of us as a one type hive mind? Because they think of us as food. I don't mean the type of food that you and I would normally eat, but our energy, our negativity, etc. Now, if I were you, I'd kind of keep your eyes on the prize. Talk to you later. Jojo out.